Right then, it's been a while since the last video I made, so I took a bit of a break, mainly with the rest of June now bleeding a little to July. One thing that is noticeable is with this season. Man, it feels like years since the last Milsim-themed season that had ever been released. Nothing really new that came out this season aside from the map rotation where a couple of older maps have sort of returned, one being a night variant for the map Secret Base, and a couple more maps for flag capture, so you can probably see that a couple of maps that haven't seen the light of day are sort of making a return. Still waiting for aircraft carrier to return. However, aside from that, let's talk about one thing that's sort of been talked about as of recently. Bit of a refresher here. The weapons included the Wound Weaver, the Desert Verdict, and the Gomorrah of Ruined. What makes this set talked about as of recently, even before that, is due to its set effect. Apart from the reload speed being increased, the one thing that comes out of this set being that it gives you iframes after a fatal shot. So having the weapons as previously mentioned into your loadout will guarantee you that you'll be able to gain invincibility, preventing you from taking any form of damage for a short while. This set effect being one of the newest effects that has ever been added into the game. However, with the red flag of this set effect being obviously the iframes that you get from it. The concept of iframes being into the game does sound cool on paper and a bit of an interesting concept to have for this game, but on execution, there has to be a lot of limitations for this effect, mainly to avoid it being broken. It can even be frustrating going against one player that's using it or else an entire team. It's not like it happened to me a few times already this past few weeks. So most of the community is having a debate on what to do with the set effect. For example, decreasing the duration of the effect. A few users from the Discord are suggesting to change the effect of the iframes to a different effect. I would personally put the effect of getting a temporary speed up if you were to take damage. And of course the other option, that being to remove the set effect entirely. Now the last option would be somewhat of a rare thing that the developers will ever do, but in rare cases this would actually work in favor for the players. We can take this back to 2018 during the 15.2 update when items like, for example, the Resurrection, Smart Bull Bazooka, Nanoball Rifle, Beast Form Spell, and Swarmer were removed from the game entirely. Well, not removed entirely from the game, you can probably find a few items in the game files, but anyways, those items were removed and compensated due to the community's complaints at the time. And I think the last time that the community's complaints sort of went in favor was with the 18.0.0 update, having the entire major update being reverted the next major update, which I'm still thinking that the 18.0.0 update was the best and last good update that we had. And funny enough, this month being the month when it was released 5 years ago. But anyways, going off sidetrack, do I think the set effect will be reverted or else removed entirely? I mean, there is a slim chance it will probably be altered to a different set effect or I guess removed entirely. Though I do wonder why the developers even allowed this effect to even be existing. Also forgot to mention that if the set effect can neglect heavy hitting damage, like for example a shot from the Great Defender, why can't the set effect be countered with like weapons that are DPS based? With DPS based weapons, you're not putting a lot of damage into a player by a single shot, but instead continuous. But even with DPS based weapons, it will still get countered as they will probably leave the player with a bit of health while having iframes. Not really sure if the developers will do is interact with the effect, but let's just wait and see. Not really expecting much to happen, but it would be surprising if they do. But anyways, I wanted to get that out of the way and talk about the next topic, that being Trader's Van. Now, as you probably know, with the way that Trader Vans are as of these past few years, it's probably been not really good for now. Most of the time, some of the weapons that are offered in the Trader's Van will probably be not good in today's standard. However, in the rare cases, there'll probably be a few vans here and there that'll probably be a lot more better. The one thing I know is that they extend Trader's Vans, instead of it being like 3 to 4 days, now it's an entire week. So if there's like a bad van with like weapons that are not that good, well, we're all stuck with it for about a week. But I feel like there should be a change with the Trader's Van, to be honest. With the weapons that they offer, you're probably seeing them every 4 to 5 times about a year. Probably. With over 1.2k weapons that are in the game as of currently, you're only seeing a few weapons that haven't necessarily returned. I wouldn't mind seeing the Trader Van offer some weapons that haven't returned or seen the light of day for years. The one thing that I wouldn't expect to say as of currently, that being the return of community vans. It's been a while since the last community event has ever been released, and since then we haven't seen a trace of it returning ever again, which would be sort of refreshing to see them return. Though I think they should do is change the format of the community events instead of having 6 predetermined loadout that the community has to choose, which each single category they will have 10 options to choose from. And over time with each category, the community will create a loadout with the most voted weapons. I would say do 3 loadouts with 3 of the most voted weapons out of the 10 weapons out of each category. With this format being a lot more different than the way the developers were to do, that being the 6 loadouts with predetermined weapons. Do I think this is gonna happen? I think it would be unusual for them to do so. You could probably spread those 3 loadouts into 3 months. One for each month. And I guess that would do for this video for now. Not really a lot more information regarding Pixelgun 2, so there's not really much to talk about for now. I hope this time I'll start uploading a lot more than usual. My bad for the few breaks that I've been taking. And I guess that'll do it for this video, so thank you guys for watching. And as always, have a great day or night or whenever you're watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.